Welcome to Growing Up Asian, a friendly platform where high schoolers like us share our thoughts and experiences living in America as an Asian. Hi, my name is Sithu.
Hi, my name is Reisha.
Hi everyone, I'm Anushka.
Hi guys, I'm Ivy, and we're all in high school, and school starts in 2 days. So what have you guys been up to?
Well, I have been doing a lot of art since this whole quarantine began. I filled up my entire wall with just pictures, and I took like summer classes. I took a few of those, so that was fun, I guess.
That sounds productive.
Yeah, yeah.
I've just been doing like origami and watching a lot of Netflix. Oh, and I guess both of us have been starting our college apps. So
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean by watching Netflix. Since I've done a bunch of woodworking. I started doing some woodworking, trying to build a media console right now. But
oh, that sounds sick.
I've been just chilling, watching Netflix, eating, getting fat, usual.
That's cool.
Not ready for school.
Yeah, I can second that.
Yeah. Anushka, didn't you get
So,
a fish?
Say that again.
Didn't you like get a fish or something?
Get a what?
A fish.
a fish.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got a fish. I got a beta fish. And her name is Orchid, and she's really cute. And I taught her how to jump out of the water, which might not have been a good thing,
How do
but
you teach a fish
Ooh.
how to jump?
yeah, okay.
I thought fish has short-term memory. They like forget everything in 4 seconds.
Okay,
Fish
for the
brain.
record, fish
Smart.
have they retain your memory for 7 seconds.
No, like Orchid is so smart. She like knows when the food is coming, so she gets to the top and like she takes it from my hand.
Oh,
I had
wow.
I
Yeah.
That
had
is a smart fish.
I had fish and they were so dumb. I had them for 7 years and they were all so dumb. I don't know what fish you're getting.
We had like fishes a couple years back, and they survived for like maybe a week, and then they all died.
Oh
Oh, that's really sad.
no.
So, Legend of Korra is on Netflix. I know
Yeah.
that's what I'm watching next.
I started yesterday and I'm on episode 7 and I already love it.
I'm
Oh,
scared.
wow.
I'm
She's
scared
fast.
to start watching it because I don't want to binge it like every other show. But
Right? I get that.
I know I've been watching a lot of stuff. I've been jumping left and right over so many shows, and now school's starting, and I have to wake up early.
Oh, I forgot what it's like to wake up before like 9. I don't think.
yeah, but I don't know if school's gonna stay for long because after the college students started to go back, numbers started doubling. So
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like we're gonna have school for that much longer before it becomes fully online.
yeah. And I hope
It's
that's
true.
not true because I feel bad for the college students who just got to college and they'll have to come back. I hope that doesn't happen, but it
Yeah,
does look like it might.
especially the incoming freshmen who just got to college. They're gonna have to leave in like a month.
Class of 2020 really
Uh,
got done
Yeah.
dirty.
I just hope
Yeah.
it doesn't roll over to when we're like seniors. I mean, we are seniors now, but like when we apply and when we get in, like I hope it's like almost back to normal by then.
right. So it's just like I want a good senior year, but like looking for it, honestly, I think it's okay that school's online first semester because for like 3 of us, it's college app season anyway. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's kind of a good thing, but hopefully by second semester everything's back to normal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
I
it
know what you
should be. It
mean.
should be.
Hmm.
We can do our classwork during like school time, but like since we don't have any after school activities and stuff, we get to focus on making sure our application is as good as it can be because we don't really have much of anything else to do.
Right. Yeah.
So what are like things in high school that you feel like you're happy that you did, but like and like things that you feel that you regret?
Well, one thing I really
Mm,
know that I regret is like kind of like not really doing much after school, like in terms of not like academically, but like hanging out with friends. I felt like I was at school a lot, doing a bunch of like clubs and everything. I wish I went out more with my friends to like go eat ice cream and stuff. Kind of
Yeah.
like the parents' mindset, don't hang out with your friends, study more and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well, you still
agree
have a
with that.
year. You're the only junior here, so we have
Yeah.
Yeah.
three seniors
Well,
and
I
a
mean,
junior.
I don't know how much I'm gonna have when like I'm basically stuck at home. I guess I can FaceTime my
True.
friends, but other than that, not really much.
Yeah. I feel like the one thing I really regret was taking classes just for GPA. I feel like
Oh,
a lot of, especially I guess
That's controversial.
Asian
Wait,
people,
I have
and
an
that's what we're
unpopular
talking
opinion about
about,
it.
take classes solely because of the GPA. And I did that in my freshman and sophomore year, and I didn't enjoy myself at all. Sure, it helped my GPA, but it also made me kind of miserable. So I feel like my advice would be to take the classes you want, keep GPA in mind, but don't make it a priority, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
colleges also look for like you to be a sort of well-rounded person, right? Mindy, do you want
Exactly.
to say something?
true. Well, I kind of have an unpopular opinion because like my regret was like freshman year and sophomore year not knowing like the GPA and like the class rank stuff, and then junior year like yes, I took classes for GPA, but I think it was one of like the best years. And I say that because like it was like a time management thing. Like I did clubs, I did jobs, and I hang out with my friends. Like that feels amazing to do that.
Right.
Versus like freshman year, yeah, I hang out a ton, but like did I get anything productive done? Not really. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I think it's
Yeah.
really difficult. Sorry, Risha, go ahead.
No, no, I was just agreeing with her. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it's just really difficult to find that balance, especially the pressures that we have on ourselves from not just school, but like just our society in general is not geared towards good mental health, unfortunately, but it could be.
Yeah, especially with like Asian parents, like if you keep your grades well, like they won't bother you, which is like really good. But I know that there's parents that are also like, oh, you like kind of got a lower grade. Now you have to like stay at home the whole time and like until I see like all A's in your report card, like next semester, you're not allowed to go outside. And then like if you hang out one week, you're not allowed to hang out the next week. So even if you want to take a mental health day to try to like get yourself to a good mental state again, like it's not even an option sometimes.
Yeah,
well,
like
yeah.
how many of your parents actually like know about mental health days?
I think it's more like my parents let me take them, but I feel like the way that I was just like brought up and stuff, I feel guilty for taking them. I feel like I should be productive right now and not taking time to myself. And I think that's what the problem is, because then you work even though you should be taking a break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah,
you
I
mean.
see
Yeah,
that.
I think that's the thing with the Asian parents,
I've
though.
been
Like,
doing that all summer.
Yes, like Sithu was saying, that's the thing with Asian
yeah,
parents.
the thing with the Asian parents is I feel like what they try to do is they don't want you to ever be satisfied with what you have. So even if you bring a good grade home, they're gonna expect something the next day. I think that's their way
Yeah.
of trying to strengthen you in a way, but they fail to realize that like the same time sometimes being satisfied is actually the answer, like being happy with what you got and not looking ahead
Right.
being like, oh, I need to do this
Yeah.
now, I need to do this.
Yeah, the way they think, it's like they have like this goal, like call it goal A, and then like once you get that goal, like instead of being like, oh, congratulations, it's more like, okay, well, you did that, okay, now we need to move on to the next one. Like, come on, like hurry up.
Exactly.
It's more like that.
And I
That's well
do
said.
like want to clarify that we all know that our parents want the best for us, but just like
Hmm.
in general, sometimes that like comes across as putting too much pressure on a kid.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My parents are definitely more understanding than like things that I've heard from other like friends,
Oh yeah,
which
same.
I'm really thankful
Yeah.
for.
If I were to
I
rate our
like,
parents, oh
yeah.
wait, sorry.
No, no, go ahead, man.
Okay, if I was gonna rate our parents on how chill they are, I would rate Risha's parents number one, and Anushka's number two, and I don't know Sithu's parents, so like I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I feel like my parents in general have been very understanding of like just situations and stuff, but I feel like just
Hmm.
all Asian parents have that mindset of you have to be the best. And that's not a
Mhm.
bad
Yeah.
thing, but sometimes it's just like the best in what? Like I'm lucky that my parents will allow me to pursue whatever career I want, but I also know a lot of people aren't allowed to do anything other than a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, or like the STEM majors, even if they want to do something like creative, like an artist or something. I know a lot of people our age do not have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about it like my freshman and sophomore and junior year. My freshman and my sophomore and my junior year, I was like so focused on my studies, and I didn't really go to a lot of games and things. And now I'm thinking like my senior year, I can't even really go outside. Like games are like being canceled. Who knows if we're allowed to even be in the audience? So a lot of my like senior opportunities that I was waiting for, like I should have experienced them when I was like a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess life lesson, guys, is don't take things for granted. Like think about it. Like 5 months ago, would you think that like going to school would be a problem? Like none of us thought about that.
Oh
So
yeah,
like
for
Exactly.
think like
sure.
that just
Nobody
shows
can
you how
know.
like quickly things go away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you never knew that you were gonna miss that one boring class. Like you never know that being bored in class was actually gonna be a thing that you're gonna miss. But
Yeah, like take our
here we
Shia.
are.
She did.
True.
Yeah, like take our Shia. So like to our audience, she was from episode 1, but our last day of school, like no one knew it was the last day, and she didn't even go that day. And then like who knew like she wouldn't go again until like forever.
Can you guys believe
True.
it's been like 5 months since we've been inside? Just not
So we
out.
started in
Oh,
March, right? March,
Yeah.
April, May,
Yeah, so
June,
Started
July,
March
yeah,
August.
it's
14th.
close to 6 months.
Yeah, and we also
Wait, it's actually six
Yeah,
months
we
because
had
like
the E.
Friday.
coli
Yeah,
outbreak.
yeah, we had E.
it was
coli.
March 11th. It's been 6 months, half a year, and 4 days.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's insane to think about that just something that was so normal is like somebody was telling me that I don't think anybody's ever gonna blow out a birthday candle again. And I was just like, that's
Oh,
crazy to think about something so normal becomes something so like scary to do.
Yeah.
like Indian birthdays, like feeding each other. Like, is that gonna be a thing still?
Right?
Like, did you think football was gonna be in February?
No.
Yeah.
That one was weird. It's almost like all like the first semester things, they're trying to make it happen second semester, but I'm still skeptical about whether school is going to be back to normal by then or not.
Me too.
And I
well,
mean, the thing
yeah,
about vaccines is like there is like a big portion of the population that are anti-vaxxers, you know?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
So like, what is it gonna be like?
Yeah, and I never thought about that. That's so true. There's people who
Mhm.
just like completely ignore science, which is
Yeah.
I guess you can do you, but it's also like affecting other people, you know?
Mhm.
yeah, but at the same time, they don't really think that they're affecting others. They think that they're doing the right thing. So you can't really convince somebody who's like that devoted in their beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there's just so many different perspectives out there about so many different things. It just gets so complicated in a situation like this.
Yeah.
right now, like everyone's trying to educate themselves on like current events and global situations, right? And
Yeah.
it's honestly like I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm trying to be in the know in so many different things, and I'm also trying to advocate for what I know is like a serious issue that like feels heartfelt to me. But like if I like I feel so bad if I like say something wrong or like didn't know something. And I mean, now I'm trying to realize like it's okay to mess up. You just have to make sure you realize and grow from it. But I feel like so many people are kind of like a little bit too, I don't want to say, but maybe like ego that they feel that they can't fix themselves, that
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
like shouldn't learn from it.
It's almost like they're
Yeah.
choosing to be ignorant because they think
It's easier.
it's easier. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I hate ignorant people, but at the same time, like they're so much, I guess, happier in a way.
Hmm.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. But it's also like,
Exactly.
but that phrase has always bothered me though, because they say ignorance is bliss, but only for that one person. For everybody else, it's just annoying.
But then, okay, oh, there was this big debate thing like a long time ago. If people were talking about, when people feel like the world revolves around you, well, to each of us individually, it does, because like the world around, like my world, like my life revolves around me, and your life revolves around you. So like, I don't know how to explain it, but like in a way, ignorance is bliss, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
It started
I think it was
pouring
like this
outside.
TED talk a long time ago. I know.
Yeah.
It literally like thundered for like the past like week without any rain, and it finally rained.
yeah.
Like looking outside my window right now.
Like I can bet you in like what in 2 hours it's gonna be sunny outside. The weather is so whack here.
North Carolina weather.
Do you guys remember that one time last year when it just snowed
Oh my god.
randomly in April?
That that was amazing.
That was
We were in a class together. It's kind of epic.
that was such a good day. Like just because of that. And we had those friends who'd never seen the snow before and they were just like in awe.
It, yo, North Carolina weather is so whack.
There was
I
that one. Wait, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna talk about something else. You finish.
There was that one, like, we did like these virtual college workshops, and there's that one counselor who's like never seen snow, and that's just,
Oh, I remember that.
yeah.
I was gonna talk about how like school is gonna work this year. Like we have like 8 kids in a classroom, right? But other schools have pretty much like gone back to normal. It's kind of weird to see. And CMS doesn't even have school; they're completely online.
I
So
heard
I wonder why UCPS chose this.
I feel like they chose this because it made both sides happy. Because kids going back to school but also are online. But if
Yeah,
you
and
think
then about CMS and their online thing, technically 52% of the parents wanted school. And it was only 48% of the parents that like wanted remote learning. And it's
Huh.
like very controversial because like if you think about it, if you go like I guess with like democracy and like voting whatever, technically they should be in school because like over half the parents wanted school, right? But then like it's like a safety thing.
it is
Well, I mean, I'm glad that CMS chose that in the end.
Yeah.
yeah, I heard a school in Georgia that went back like completely to normal and within the first week they had to shut down again.
Yeah, I saw one too. It was like near Atlanta. Within the first week, like
Mhm.
90% of the population like in that school either had corona or were like really close with someone who has it.
Hmm.
Whew.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
this virus is
It's
gonna take a long time to get like die down a little bit, but I think it's gonna still be involved in our lives for a long time. It's just it's gonna be
mass.
less like relevant
Hmm.
later
Yeah.
on. You know.
And out of curiosity, like, do you guys like personally like know anyone who has like corona? I guess.
Um,
I had a friend whose family member like
no, I
struggled
don't
with
think
that,
I
but
do.
Oh,
I think that's the closest relation I've had to it. Which I'm
I
glad.
yeah.
That means that most of the people I know are being generally safe. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't think I know anybody who has it. But
I think one of my family friends had it and like almost died, but like didn't die.
oh,
And then this it's a like a long far off relations, but my uncle's old coworker was at like this place, and then one of the people working there actually died.
oh,
Ooh.
that's so like it's so sad. I heard there's what's it? Some hospitals aren't treating normal patients until they get COVID tested, and that leads to more just typical patient deaths because they're waiting longer to be treated than they would if there was like no virus.
See,
True.
like that's why I'm like, I feel like that's the people that don't believe in it or whatever, like think it's a hoax or something. Like they should at least be considered because of how backed up the
Okay,
hospitals
that really
are.
bothers me. The people who are like, "Oh, this is like some weapon thing." That just bothers me so much.
Yeah, it's so
Mm.
frustrating because like they choose not to see the people that are like in pain right now. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who are really struggling because of this, and they're
Hmm.
just disregarding all of them.
My neighbor
Yep.
had to go to the hospital to get like knee surgery or something. And then, I mean, getting a knee surgery isn't easy, but like pre-COVID, like what you would have done is like had someone drive you and then do your surgery and then wait a couple of days and then you go home. But because of Corona, like she had to go by herself, like with this like knee like injury thing, because no one else could go to the hospital with her because you're not allowed to go. And it's just like the whole thing is kind of messed up.
Yeah, and I feel
Mm.
like a lot of people also are like waiting for a vaccine and they think that's going to solve everything. But a vaccine is like a preventative. Like it prevents you from getting the disease.
But
Yeah,
then
and
the other thing,
then you also
the
have to
other,
consider the whole like globalize the vaccine, and then people aren't going to take it, and it takes a
Mhm.
while for everything to like die down. It'll take a month after that. So this is probably going to be in our lives for most of next year too. It's just
yeah.
it's gonna we're gonna have to like start to like take this seriously if we really want to move on.
And from like the scientific aspect of it, corona is kind of like the flu, so it's going to change every year. So like there's going to have to be like a new vaccine next year.
Hmm. So it's just, yeah, because vaccines, like, they prevent it. And that's the thing, though, because people don't realize it doesn't stop it if it already happened. That's the problem.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for those people already in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so do you guys have any stories about just like, I guess just being Asian and like the different things that you would face versus somebody who's not Asian would face at school or just in society in general?
Hmm.
mm,
Well, I guess there's a whole like being here, right? Like having our own culture that's a little different from other people. That sometimes it can be like, oh, this is I'm different from others. I don't like this. Trying to
Mhm.
be what other people are at school or anything, the way you dress, the way you eat, what things you eat, everything like that. It plays a big role. It's
Right.
like mentally too, like getting bullied and stuff for stuff like that. It makes you hate on your culture more. I guess that's what I guess growing up Asian here in America is.
I remember being in elementary school and like it was so difficult for me to get friends. Like the only friends I had in the beginning were the people that lived in my community. And they were like older than me, and no one would talk to me. I'm pretty sure they always thought that I was like weird. And I remember one story. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but this person was sitting beside me. We were in like first grade, and she was like, it was a guy, and he was like, if you put your middle finger up, it means that like you hate God. And I couldn't hear him, and I thought he just told me to put my middle finger up, and I did it, and then he raised his hand and told the teacher. And ever since then, I've been really traumatized. She
oh
didn't
my god.
get me in trouble or anything,
Oh
luckily.
no.
Wait, did you guys have
Wow.
bathrooms in your like elementary school classrooms? Because I remember
Yeah.
we had one.
Yeah, we
I
had bathrooms
had
in like first, second, and third grade classrooms.
I had it in kindergarten, but that's it.
Yeah, I think they did
Um,
that because kids at that age don't really know how to control. So they have like in
yeah.
case of an emergency, just throw them in there.
I remember I remember one really, really weird thing that happened was, okay, so the place I lived before North Carolina was Oregon, and like Klamath Falls, the city I was in, it was like very predominantly white. I don't think I knew Indian people there, but none my age. Not really anyway, and none that went to my school anyway. And I had been there for about 4 years now, like in living in that city, and went to that same school for 4 years. And this Indian girl came to the school from India, and she was like a grade above me, and everybody would come up to me and said, "Oh, is that your sister?" Everybody, even though I had been there for
People have
years.
come up to us and been like, "Are you guys sisters?" I
Yeah,
just don't understand.
yeah, exactly. It was like I was like, "Are you kidding me? You know me. Like I've been here since fourth grade, and you're asking me if this person is my sister?" And I was like, "Why do you think that?" And he's like, "Oh, because you guys look the same." And I'm like, "Right."
Whew,
Uh,
Yeah,
that
I've gotten the
hits.
Yeah,
same
I know
thing
that.
too.
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess I guess they don't really know when you really don't know about a culture or anything because like most people here haven't like when you're at that age you don't really see all those cultures until like you really meet them, right? So the first interaction is a little weird. But you don't know if they're trying to come out rude or they're just like respectfully just trying to ask you. But most of the time I feel like it's just like as a little joke, like are you sisters or you brothers?
yeah, exactly. But it's also just like I feel like even the people who are trying to like ask a question don't realize sometimes it's really disrespectful, and it's okay because like they're not trying to be, but there are also those people who definitely are trying to be rude while trying to ask you a question, and it's just like
It's obvious the difference between those kinds of
it's
people. Like
so
we
obvious.
notice.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the worst part is when you're at a young age and when somebody asks you a question like that, and instead of like, getting mad at them and being like, that's disrespectful, you try to start questioning yourself, like, yeah, they're
Mm,
right, and, that's the whole thing, like, about like trying to be more like, what do you call modern, I guess, in a sense, come to
yeah.
school, dress differently, don't eat the
Mhm.
same foods you do at home. and that
Yeah.
plays a toll.
Yes.
I remember I wasn't very proud of this, but I remember in not middle school, in elementary school, I would not want to bring Indian food to school because
Oh yeah.
I was scared of the way it smelled. Because, like, to me, it smelled fine, but, like, to all these people who never experienced that before, it was just a target. Like, you're putting a target on yourself. And it was, like, scary as, like a 10-year-old, you know?
Oh
Yeah, and I
yeah.
also think it's like an age thing too. Like think about when you were little, if you thought about like I don't know, like Ethiopian food or whatever, and you're like ill. But like now, like we've been like not like eating the same thing for so long, but it's more like being like exposed to new things. And now, like if someone like came like to you with like a new like food or whatever, I bet you'll be like more excited than you would have been when you were little.
Yeah, and now I'm like so like proud to be Indian, but it also takes a long time to like get to that because of where we are and like how society treats us.
Yeah, I guess the whole pride comes from the fact that when you get to high school, right, and when people actually mature, and they don't bully you for like simple little things, right? You connect with other people, and you make you like build as a community, and that's when the whole pride comes out. So I think that's one thing that high
Yeah.
school does a really good job of.
And I might be exposing myself here, but like I know myself, like if I like seen like Indian food like a couple years ago, I've been like, I don't know what that is. But like now, like whenever I see you guys eat, I'm like, I really want some of that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
I
like,
always love FOI, Festival of India here in Charlotte.
oh, I've been once and it
It's
was
one
so
of the
much
greatest events.
fun.
Yeah.
It really is. You can really like see like everyone's pride in their cultures and seeing all the dances and like other people trying to come and learn more about it. It's like a really great thing to see.
Yeah. And I know it was like really weird because like the last podcast in the last episode, one of them was
Hmm.
talking about how there's like barely any Indian people here. And I was just like,
Mm.
for me, there's so many. Like that's the, that's the strange part because like when you come from somebody where like there's none to like one where there's like so many other like cultures. Well, for me anyway,
Hmm.
it was all like, wow, I'm not the Indian friend anymore. And I had like that
Uh,
entire identity in middle school was I was the Indian friend. And now it's like I can't go by that anymore. And it was like really weird to adjust to that for me anyway.
yeah, some of those people I know from New Jersey and like that. There's a pretty big Indian population there, I'm pretty sure, and
Oh
Texas, I
yeah,
think.
New Jersey, Texas. Oh yeah, those California.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have some relationship experience as while also being brown. Has well, I mean, sorry, Asian, I should say. Uh, what what is that like? As I've been single my whole life, sadly.
um,
I think
I mean the secrecy. That's like one of the biggest things.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like having a different like what do you call personality? Like you're at school, right? And then you go home and you're with your parents. It feels so weird.
But like it's also the culture because
Ooh.
okay, so I'm watching this really good show. Okay, this ties into relationships, I promise. But I'm watching this really good show, and like the main character, the girl, she's 19, and the guy is 29. But just hear me out.
Ooh,
Oh, hold up,
okay.
it's that they fit together perfectly. But here's the thing: they're each other's first love, I guess, first relationship. It's like the first
Okay.
relationship I've ever been at 29. Imagine that. And like we're not talking about some random like dude on the street. We're talking about like a big like celebrity person that makes a ton of money and gets to travel and like has a ton of fans. Like we're talking about someone like that who has their first
Okay.
relationship at 29. But and that's like normal in like this culture. So like
I think it's just like
Mm.
relationships just as a Asian person. I think in terms like for a lot of us, I guess it's difficult. But I also think I got lucky where I can like tell my parents a lot of things and it's like okay with them, but it's also like weird for me personally because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't say that to anybody." But like I can.
Oh, so it's like when your parents aren't like part of that singular stereotype
Exactly.
that we always think of, it's like awkward. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I wasn't
mhm.
expecting
Oh
this,
yeah.
surprising.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like just the key, I mean, not that I know anything at all, but I think the key to like a decent relationship is just like being honest with the other person, no matter what, even if it's hard to talk about. I think you have to talk about it. That's the only way you can grow in a relationship, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
And
I
maybe
don't
Yep.
know how I
yeah.
feel. Like, if you guys had to pick one age where you feel like it's the right age to start dating, like, what would you tell your children? Like, what age would they
I
be able to
think
start dating?
I think definitely 16 or 17 because before that it was all just like a fantasy. Like, oh my gosh, he's cute or that person's cute. We could like, oh my gosh, we can go on a
I
date.
feel like I'm still living that fantasy.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Who's not living in that fantasy? It's also like that maturity I think doesn't hit you until you're like a sophomore or a junior. I think so personally.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I grew a lot between sophomore and junior year. Like, I feel like a complete, especially my freshman self. Oh my gosh,
That
I don't
was
even know her anymore.
that was you don't think so because it's just 1 year, but like the difference I had my sophomore year versus my junior year was huge. It was like crazy. I was like talking in different ways, and it was just like you just grow so much in that time. That's why I think sophomore people should maybe that's a good age to start. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I
I
feel
think it's
like,
more.
yeah.
I think more is less is a more of a mindset. Like where it's like when you are able to put yourself first, even though it's a relationship,
Hmm.
but when you're able to like basically say that, hey, I'm in a relationship, but at the same time, I
You're
matter
your
too.
own
I
individual
don't want to make
person.
my partner like the whole world for me, right? I think that's
exactly.
when
Right.
and I
Yeah.
guess at the same time, you can say that it comes with age, like maturity. You can't really mature. It's pretty hard to mature as a young age. So yeah, I would probably agree. Maybe sophomore, junior, but yeah, I think a lot of sophomores and juniors I know still have that mindset of like just like getting a girlfriend or getting a boyfriend.
Yeah. And
And I
I
think
don't
that's the whole thing with the Asian parents. What they fear, right? Like they're gonna get distracted and they're gonna
but
do
have
other
you
dumb
seen
stuff.
though?
Yeah,
You're
I
your
think
oh sorry, Min, go ahead.
I think I grew the most between like junior year and senior year. And I was gonna say something, but I really forgot what I was gonna say. So, oh, wait, I got it. Okay, so like I get how C2 said the whole thing about like age and like mindset and mentality, but also I don't know if people actually believe in fate or if it's like a thing, but like people just like come into your life like suddenly. Like I can
Oh,
count
that's
the
so true.
instances in my life where I didn't have this person, and then like it takes like really 5 minutes, and then like you do, and then like your whole life like turns around.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. Cause
Yeah.
like
So you can't. Yeah. So you can't go around and ask me like, oh, I want like someone like this or someone like that. Like you literally go like maybe like you're getting coffee, and then like the person who hands you your change could be that person. You know?
oh, that's so
Mm.
true because like when I started out, it was literally on accident. I wasn't even supposed to be at school that day, and then like somebody told me to come to engineering after, and I randomly ended up in the closet helping people organize stuff, and that's how it started. And it just like it's so random, but it feels like it was supposed to happen.
Exactly. Like I didn't
Oh,
see
that's
any of
cute.
it coming. Like okay, end of sophomore year, still living my fantasy. Beginning of junior year, I was still living in the fantasy. But like it just all kind of happened like
I
suddenly.
think also the thing is after your first relationship, you just grow so much as
Oh
a person.
yeah.
If it's good or bad or just it was perfect or like absolutely horrible, either way, I feel like you're gonna grow so much as an
I've
individual.
seen this in my friends for
Yeah,
sure.
I think the first relationship is kind of like that practice test where you can look back and be like, all right, how did I do and how can I do better next
Okay,
time?
it could be practice or it could be the one. Just saying.
Yeah, it will it depends.
Okay, that show. Okay.
I mean, kudos to the people who like marry their high school sweetheart. Like that's hard.
Oh,
I've
Or
known a
yeah.
bunch of
bad that
people who
is,
did that. Okay,
you
so like,
have
we're,
to. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. And I was just gonna say I knew like at least like more than like two people who like did that.
Yeah, I think that the thing about like the whole high school sweetheart thing is typically it's not realistic because in high school we're still like we're just kids. We're still figuring ourselves out and we're
Yeah.
still trying to see who we are as a person and that does not come in high school. I know a lot of
Okay,
people
I
think
also have an unpopular opinion about that. So like I get that. Okay, I'm full of unpopular opinions, but I get that like people change over time, and you're supposed to change and you're supposed to grow. But like deep down, like I guess you can call it your soul or whatever, like what you believe in, or like who like you just not who you see yourself as, because that changes all the time. But the things that you believe in and like what you think like could be right or could be wrong, just your
right.
sense of like morality, like that never changes. So
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
that, like doesn't matter how old you are, the person who gets your like I guess where you come from, if they actually like connect with you, then like no matter how far like you move away from each other or like how much you grow, deep down inside you're still the same person. Like really deep down inside you're the same person.
yeah, and I agree with
Yeah.
that. And it's also another thing about that is though, like if you want to grow with somebody, like from high school into college and so on, circumstances also have to be right. Like you have to be in the same grade, probably. It'll
Oh,
be
same college.
yeah, same college, same like roughly the same like goals in life, and most people have completely different goals, and even if a person is so compatible with you, it might not work because of just like outside circumstances that you literally can't control, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like okay.
Yes.
I mean, we've all moved. I think most of us have. But like, shout out to my besties if they ever listen to this. But I moved and like I haven't seen some of them in like 2 years, but they come up like maybe once every 2 years or so, and then it's like before, even though so much has changed. Like
Aw, that's so nice.
they're not in middle school anymore, and like one of them, like one of my friends, she's gonna go to college in Texas, and I'm gonna go to college in North Carolina. But like I know we're gonna be lifelong friends, if that makes sense. Like call me like whatever, like stupid, but like probably see in like 10 years we're still gonna be friends. Like
Yeah,
there's things like that.
After a certain point, like after you've been friends with a person for a really long time, it's kind of like an understanding that no matter how much time you guys haven't talked, like you guys are there for each other no matter
Mm-hmm.
what.
exactly.
So,
That's a really good thing to have too. Like I've moved 8 times and not a lot of people stuck. But like the one and two that did, I know I can depend on them like forever. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about them
mhm.
like leaving me behind. Like no matter where we end up, they're always gonna be there and I know that. And that's like a really reassuring thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we like go and get into college, like I've heard people say this, and I think this is really good advice. We're gonna meet a lot of new people, and we need to like expose ourselves to different kinds of characters, but we need to make sure that like we don't keep trying to become friends with people that we know that aren't gonna stick. Like we need to
Exactly.
make sure
Exactly.
we manage our time with people that we do work with.
And
And
like,
I
mm-hmm.
high school, like I feel like after I moved, it was kind of hard. Like I was all over the place, but I was also kind of shy because I had a pretty dependable friend group in middle school. So moving to high school and meeting tons of new people, it was pretty difficult for me. Yes, man.
Yeah. And I think like the main thing about friendships is just you have to understand that like it's not how much like time you spend with each other. I mean, time is definitely important because you like bond and stuff, but like it's more like the quality versus like how often you see each other, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's true.
For sure.
Absolutely. Because think about it, you could spend like years with a person, but still not like them. But you could spend like 5 minutes with this like friend that you know, and it could be like one of your favorite times.
Felt that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's
See,
good
do
to
you live in a community with like a bunch of your friends? Do you enjoy that?
know. I
Oh yeah, it's really nice. Like now, of course, I can't. But like yeah, when
Right.
you're just outside, you just see one friend, and it's really nice. And you like with the people in the community, I connect with them a lot since I've been living with them for like 7 years, right? So yeah, I think that
Ooh,
friendship is
long
really good.
time.
Oh
It's
man.
the one thing I would like change my life. It's to live in a neighborhood with a bunch of like a bunch of people that like my age that I hang out with. I would love to have that.
Oh, that would be
Ooh.
so much fun. I think I had that in like elementary school, but then after we moved so many times, and one time we ended up in this neighborhood where there was like only like elderly people, and they were super sweet, but you can't go and play outside with them usually.
Exactly. I
Oh.
felt that when I first moved over here, we rented a house and it was in like this like it was in Curry Place, which is like not exactly a senior living place, but the houses are made for older people. Like they're all small and like nicely kept and like little and like really cute. It's just so weird.
All
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna,
Well, does
yeah.
anybody have anything else they want to say real quick?
I guess we could end with this question, like, once we're like done with college and we're like kind of settling down, like, what's one thing that you want to experience in life? Like maybe a place you want to live or something that you just want to do.
Well, I guess one thing I've always really wanted to do is visit Australia. I know we didn't really get the chance because of COVID and stuff this summer, but hopefully when this is all over.
Bro, that's pretty cool. Other than the fact that Australia has scary bugs, that's pretty cool. I've always
I do not
wanted
like bugs either.
I've always wanted to do skydiving because I'm pretty scared of heights. I'm not gonna lie, but like I've seen some videos and it's like it seems like a surreal experience. So I think I want to do skydiving.
Skydiving is way too scary for me. I'm not afraid of heights, but like I don't like that sensation when you're falling down on a roller coaster. Not for me.
Oh, the hard
Uh,
drop. Oh,
not a fan. I probably want to learn the drums. I think it's like I used to play the clarinet, which was nice, but I got busy with high school and stuff. So in the future, when I get time to do something for myself and not for a resume, I'll probably try to learn the drums.
Yeah. Those are all such great things. But yeah. So thanks for listening to episode 2 of Growing Up Asian. You will see a brand new group of people next week, so look forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us on our Instagram and Spotify at Growing Up Asians and check out our website, which you can find on our Instagram page.